Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Silent Reviews here, coming at you guys with my SmackDown Live review today. So we're gonna go over everything that is happening on the Blue brand, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts about it. I decided to actually bring back the Raw reviews and the SmackDown reviews each and every week. So you'll be seeing these back to back every week from now on. I did this a while back, and for some reason, I just stopped doing it. But for now on, you'll be seeing Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews every single week. And I thought about doing some more content for wrestling. So not only are you going to see Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews, but you're also going to be seeing 205 Live and NXT combined into one video. Because I feel like since they're just 1 hour shows, it would be too short of a video to just have them separate. So we're just going to combine both of them into one straight video. So on Raw, so this is how the schedule is going to look. So Mondays, you'll be seeing my Raw reviews along with any other videos I do. Tuesday, you'll be seeing my SmackDown reviews. And Wednesday, you'll be seeing my NXT and 205 Live reviews. That's how it's looking so far. And then, what other pay-per-views we have coming up, Fastlane, WrestleMania, Extreme Rules, like all the other stuff. You'll be seeing my predictions and reviews for that as well. And then I also got something big coming up on Friday on Chris's channel. Dual Infinity, he wants me he wants me and Daniel to be here. He's gonna come here, right? So he wants Daniel and him to come here, right? They're gonna come here to my place, and then from there we're gonna go to his place, to Chris's house, and I guess we're doing something big for his channel. If you didn't already see on Dual X Infinity's channel, I'll link it in the description, or I'll put it in the corner right here. We did another cooking video, and we made an Oreo shake. And that was hella funny. If you haven't already, go check that out. It's fucking hilarious. You're gonna get a good laugh out of it. But yeah, so it was me, Richard, Daniel, and Chris all in one video, and we were just having a good time. If you didn't see, at the end of the video, Daniel walked out, and he pretended like he was on the phone, and with Ronald McDonald of all people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch the video and you'll find out for yourself. But the point is, he wants to do some sort of big project for his channel. Because at the end of the video, it said tune in to find out what happens next. So it's got everybody thinking, okay, what is going on here? And yeah, we're going to find out on Friday. So it's going to be really, really interesting. I don't know what he has in store, but it's going to be fun. So yeah, just stay tuned for Friday on Chris's channel, and we'll see what happens. But anyways, I'm enough rambling. Let's get on to the SmackDown Live review, guys. This was a way better show than Raw, definitely. And we had the NXT stars that debuted on Raw. They debuted on SmackDown as well. So this was awesome. So the show starts off with Shane McMahon. Just like Triple H started Raw, Shane McMahon started SmackDown. And Shane started the show, again, with the NXT stuff, saying that he was very, very impressed by the showings of Ricochet, Aleister Black, the NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, and the North American Champion Johnny Gargano's debuts on Raw, that he decided to bring them to SmackDown. And they're all going to be making their debuts on SmackDown. So that's what happened. And then The Miz came out looking very, very disappointed in himself. And he admitted to Shane that he used them. Now look, he didn't exactly use him. But he did thank Shane for making his dad proud. So it says here, just 2 days removed from a disappointing Elimination Chamber performance that saw him eat the pinfall that cost him and Shane McMahon the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, The Miz kicked off this week's episode by issuing a public apology to his partner. The A-lister recapped the relationship he and the SmackDown commissioner had formed since Crown Jewel last November, including an emotional explanation of how their team brought Miz and his father closer together. So, yeah, ever since they've teamed up, Miz said it in the past that him and his father never had a really good relationship until now. And after they won the titles, where was it? The Royal Rumble? After they won the titles at the Royal Rumble, they just had a better relationship. So, and it's brought him and his father very, very closer. So that's good. The A-listers recapped the relationship. No, I already said that. He brought SmackDown closer. He implored the powerful McMahon to make a rematch against Usos for the tag title. So Miz wanted to. He wasn't done. He's not gonna throw Shane under the bus. He wants to take the titles back from the Usos. So he asked Shane, even though you can't do public rematch clauses, we can't allow rematch clauses anymore. He still wants to have a rematch because he's Shane McMahon. Miz said, because you're Shane McMahon, you should be able to invoke our rematch clauses. And then Shane said, I can't do that. We're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to work your way from the bottom all the way back up to the top. So again, this is when the Usos came out, and the Usos kept saying that Miz is garbage, Miz is trash, Miz is the loser, and he doesn't deserve another tag team title shot along with Shane. And then that heated Shane, that heated Miz, and they were just mocking Miz and Shane. Then McMahon made the match for Fastlane official. And so now we got the Miz and Shane against the Usos at Fastlane for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles in a rematch from the Royal Rumble. Or not from Royal Rumble, from Elimination Chamber, my bad. So moving on from that, we have Aleister Black making his SmackDown Live debut against none other than his former rival from NXT TakeOver New Orleans, Andrade. Aleister Black and Andrade went one-on-one in a great match. Again, these two never disappoint. They have great chemistry together. They fought in the past in NXT, and it's just great. Aleister is the one that took the title off of Andrade. That's how Aleister became NXT champion in the first place, by defeating Andrade. But yeah, I enjoyed the match they had. It was definitely a fun match to watch. Yeah, so it says here, once upon a time, Aleister Black accumulated his journey to the top of NXT by defeating Andrade to win the brand heavyweight title. We talked about that. He continued his path on Tuesday night to the greatest in the main roster by battling the charismatic El Idolo in singles competition, renewing the rivalry. So pretty much Andrade, he had a little bit of control of the match. You know, during the commercial break, Aleister was trying to get back to his feet, and Andrade just kept holding him down. And then we came back from the commercial, and then, you know, Aleister got his offense back on Andrade. And it was a hip toss to the corner that took Andrade out. He got back to his feet, and Aleister Black hit the freaking Black Mask on Andrade with the 1-2-3. And Aleister is successful on his SmackDown debut. This was abbreviated. Don't know what that means, but that's what it says here. Black fought from underneath to capture the win, while Andrade had considerable offense and after weeks spending watching this from the sidelines. But yeah, out of all the possible opponents you could have for Aleister Black in his SmackDown debut, I think Andrade was the perfect opponent to have him debut against. Aleister Black. Backstage, we had a little confrontation between DIY and The Bar. The Bar basically said, oh, look, Sheamus, I didn't know this was bring your NXT superstar to work day. And they weren't taking Ciampa and Gargano seriously. They were just considering them as a joke. And Gargano reminded them how successful they were in NXT. Just like they said on Raw, we're here to take over the Red and Blue brand. So now they're on SmackDown. We're here to take over SmackDown, just like we did to Raw. And then Ciampa says, you know, that we shouldn't have to, like, what did he say? The bar left the idea of a Ciampa and Gargano posing a real-life threat After a spirited start from the NXT exports, Sheamus and Cesaro seized control, isolating Ciampa. This was during the match. Now, this was a hard-hitting match. This was great, man. DIY and the Bar, wow. For the first time these guys fought together, this was damn good. And I would love to see these two have a feud. These two teams have a feud. That'd be great. But it was during the match where I was a little, it didn't look good. So Ciampa went for a sunset flip powerbomb on Sheamus, and he took a nasty bump on his knee. It looked really, really bad. I thought he legitimately broke something in his knee, whether it was like an ACL or meniscus or something. It just looked bad. We all know Ciampa has a history of knee problems. Corey Graves even mentioned it when that happened, but that looked bad. Basically, when he went for the sunset powerbomb, when he landed on his feet, his knee just collapsed, and Sheamus just fell. I don't know if he fell or if he just tripped while Ciampa was holding him down. And when he flipped over, all of Sheamus' weight just fell right on top of Ciampa's knee, and that looked pretty bad because his knee kind of bent forward a little bit, and that did not look good. But it was weird though, because Ciampa was able to get back into the match. I thought he was out for the rest of the match, and I thought Gargano was going to just hang out to fight Sheamus and Cesaro by himself. But Ciampa got back in there surprisingly, and he ended up winning the match for him and Gargano. So it was a surprise victory, but got the job done. And yeah, this was a great showing for DIY. If you really want to make DIY a threat to the SmackDown Live tag team division, or just have them threats in general, like as separate individuals, superstars, then this is a great showing right here against Sheamus and Cesaro, the Bar. Perhaps laying out the match, having them fight underneath was not the right call, especially considering they are heels in NXT. But that is a small complaint at a time when WWE officials are trying to introduce new faces to the audience. But yeah, it was after the match where Ciampa seemed like he was okay, so I don't think it was anything too serious. But again, it ended up looking pretty bad when it did happen. So I am literally surprised that Ciampa did not get seriously hurt from that. So moving on, we have Asuka. Asuka hasn't been seen on TV in like 3-4 weeks. She finally showed up, and she's wondering who's going to be her next contender for WrestleMania or Fastlane or whatever, whether she wants to fight at Fastlane or WrestleMania. I think she'd just fight at Fastlane and then WrestleMania, because she wasn't on the Chamber, and she fought Becky at the Rumble in a fucking fantastic match with Becky. And then after the Royal Rumble, we just haven't seen Asuka on TV. So she comes out, and she gets interviewed by Kayla Braxton, and she's saying that she is the Empress or whatever, blah, 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 and she wants a new contender, and she wants to know who is ready for Asuka right now. Out comes Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose music hits, and Sonya Deville's right next to her, and Mandy says that she will be the one to dethrone the Empress. And so now we have a match with Asuka and Mandy Rose. And during the match, fucking Lacey Evans' music hit. And again, she just loves to show off herself to the crowd. And so she came out and she did her little strut down the ramp, and then she walked back. Asuka got distracted by that, and Mandy Rose took advantage, and Mandy Rose beat Asuka, surprisingly. It was crazy. I was not expecting that. Asuka took her first loss in a while. I don't even know if does that even consider her first loss on the main roster. I don't even know. But if it is, then wow. So Mandy Rose defeated Asuka. Being that she pinned the champion, I'm assuming she's going to get a title shot at Fastlane, because there was rumors that they want Lacey Evans to face Asuka at WrestleMania, because Lacey is supposed to get a huge push against Vince. I guess Vince is like really impressed with her or whatever. So I guess it could work. I mean, she was number 1 in the Royal Rumble, and she lasted over a half hour, and she took out the Iconics. So if they're able to build her up where she is a credible threat to Asuka's championship, then it could work. Because Asuka doesn't have an opponent for WrestleMania. Asuka has no feud right now. She has no contender. She has no opponents right now. But being that Mandy Rose pinned her, you could have Mandy Rose against Asuka at Fastlane for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. And then at WrestleMania, if Asuka beats Mandy, which I'm assuming she will, Asuka can fight Lacey Evans at WrestleMania. So I'd be okay with that. Ricochet made a SmackDown debut, and he took on Eric Young. Okay. When they showed the graphics on the TV screen where Ricochet was going to be making his debut, I thought he was going to be fighting somebody better. I mean, I'm not saying Eric Young is bad, and I'm like, because I remember watching him in TNA, and he was great. I enjoyed Eric Young in TNA. He was a world champion at the time. But I mean, he hasn't been on TV in months. Same with Sanity. Nothing. So when they announced Eric Young, I was just like, okay. But yeah, Ricochet picked up the win. Surprise. We all knew that was gonna happen. I mean, again, Eric Young and Sanity, they're complaining that they cannot catch a break. They literally can't. They just keep on not showing up on TV, or they just keep losing, and I don't know. I don't know what's next for Sanity. I really don't. So it says here Ricochet was the final NXT star to bask in the main roster spotlight Tuesday as he squared off with Sanity's Eric Young. During the match, Eric Young took I don't know if it was the standing shooting star press or if it was I don't remember what it was, but Eric Young's eye, he had a little cut around his eye, and he started bleeding around there. Don't know where that came from, but yeah, he was bleeding during the match. Young capitalized on a distraction from Killian Dane, and Wolf took control of the match, grounding Ricochet, keeping him from using his high-flying moveset, at least momentarily. But the one and only rocked Young with a springboard uppercut, following up, wiping out Dane and Young at ringside before returning to the squared circle, delivering the 630 splash and scoring a pinfall victory. So I think it was the European uppercut that busted Eric Young open. Young and Sandy, again, they just... Who knows what's going to happen with them next? I don't know. But yeah, having Ricochet and DIY and Aleister Black just show up on both Raw and SmackDown, it's great. And I hope we see more of that. And now we move on to the main event. We have a 6-man tag team match that was advertised earlier in the show between the 6 participants in the Elimination Chamber on Sunday, or this past Sunday. So Kofi Kingston teamed up with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy to take on the WWE Champion Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton in a 6-man tag team match in the main event of SmackDown Live. It was, like I said in the preview, it was also announced that Daniel Bryan will be finding out who he's facing at Fastlane for the WWE title, and we didn't find out until after the match. This was a great tag team match. I enjoyed it for what it was. The heels isolated most of this match, but Bryan came out. When he came out, he started addressing the universe and the rest of the SmackDown roster, saying that whoever he's defending the title against at Fastlane, he thinks it's not going to be any of the men that were in the ring, being that he defeated all of them, every single one of them inside the Elimination Chamber. So, but of course, well, we'll just get to it. So it says here the 6 men featured in the championship chamber match Sunday squared off in a tag team main event. Blah blah blah. The heels isolated Hardy and worked him over into a jawbreaker from the charismatic Enigma to Orton, allowed him to make the hot tag to Kofi Kingston. Kingston was over, man. It was really funny because before this match started and all these guys came out, Kofi was interviewed backstage, and I guess hashtag Kofi Mania is trending wild. But people are really rooting for Kofi Kingston, man, to be a champion one day. WWE champion, rather. And it was funny because we actually saw Big E do the microphone thing, like in close-up view. So that was cool. It was pretty funny, too. So Kofi made the hot tag, drawing a pop to the fans, of course, and he took the fight to the opposition. Just as he heated up, though, and alert Bryan shoved him off the ropes into the floor, Randy followed up, slamming Kofi not once but twice on the announcer's table. Surprised he didn't break the table. But later in the match, the action broke down and Bryan paired off with AJ Styles. The familiar fellow traded offense before the champion tried for the LeBell Lock, and the Phenomenal One escaped, made the tag to Kingston, who exploded into the match again. He wiped out Bryan and Rowan at ringside, returning to the squared circle, and he delivered a Trouble in Paradise for the win. And Kofi Kingston again pinned Daniel Bryan. He pinned the WWE Champion. Out comes Shane McMahon. Before the show ends, everybody's just wondering who's going to be the one to fight Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. The crowd wanted Kofi, and we got Kofi. It is official, guys. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. It's official. So yeah, the meteoric rise of Kingston continued under a highlight-filled performance that gave way to a clean fall victory over Bryan. This is going to be Kofi Kingston's first WWE title match ever, not just from the Chamber, but his first singles title match. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But yes, Kofi's going to be in the main event of Fastlane. It's going to be great. We're all looking forward to it. So that's what I got for you guys for SmackDown Live review. I'll be back shortly with my NXT review and my 205 Live review, where it's going to be in one video, just like I talked about. Again, guys, please stay tuned for Friday as we go to Chris's channel, and we're going to be doing a special project, me, Daniel, and Chris. I don't know if Richard's going to join along with us, but the plan is for me and Chris and Daniel to all meet up at my place here, and then from there we'll go to Chris's place, and then we'll film whatever he wants us to film. So just stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more uploads coming shortly. And until then, I'll see you guys all next time. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, favorite. RKO the like button out of nowhere. Tap the little bell notifications for future uploads. Don't forget to check out Chris's channel. I'll leave the link in the description box below. And yeah, the journey to 1,000 subscribers continues. And until then, I will see you all in the next one. Peace and to squeeze.